Hello, everyone. This is Marie LaBrosse, and I'm coming to you live from WKDW 97.5 FM, Real Community Radio out of Northport, Florida. And I'm here today to talk to you on my show, Sleuthing Eye Opening Tales of the Past. Well, the past is the present right now. And I'd really like to take the time to welcome my guest today, who is Amie Conti. And Amie Conti and I have been friends for quite a while now, but she's done a lot of the community, and a lot of people don't know exactly where she came from. So we're going to discuss that today, and we're going to also talk about where she's at presently, but where she began. So welcome to the stage, Amie.
Hi, good morning, Marie. Good morning, everybody who's listening.
Absolutely. And Amie, uh, how long have we known each other? Do you know?
Oh, wow. It's got to be at least 10 years, if not more, because I started in this community about working with seniors about 15 years ago, almost, give or take a few. And I know maybe it's been even a little longer because where I first started, I was more in the office. And then with time, I got out. So I would say maybe around 10 years.
Oh, right.
Just a ballpark, you know.
And I think,
excuse me.
For a lot of things that we do out in the community and that we ran across each other, and then also we belong to Business Professional Women organization together, which is always a great thing to do, to belong to different organizations. But before we even get started on that, Amie, I want to talk about you. Because the show is about a person's past, and it's Sleuthing Eye Opening Tales of the Past. And one of the things that I would like to ask my guests is to tell us a little history about you. Where did you grow up? Where were you born? Why did you end up here? So let's start at the beginning. Where were you from?
Okay, so I am originally from New Jersey, North Jersey, very close to New York City, right over the bridge is where I was born, in Fort Lee, New Jersey, where actually my high school I went to, you could see New York City right across the bridge. I'll always be a Jersey girl, no matter how many years I've been in Florida. But yeah, I had a wonderful upbringing. I lived, even though we moved to a few different locations, that's basically where I spent all of my life, was actually in New Jersey, because just for a little while in my early 20s, I moved to Pennsylvania. But it was only because it was right across the bridge from New Jersey in Hamilton Township, Trenton area. So otherwise, I always lived in New Jersey. And what happened with us is my mom and my stepdad moved to Florida. They did an early retirement, and me and my spouse, and at the time, we started coming here, I just had 2 children because I have 3. And we started visiting Florida whenever the kids had vacations, and we just fell in love with it. So it was always in the back of our mind, maybe one day we'll move. And it was during the time, so we came here, it was 2005. So we just decided before our oldest, who was going to be going into middle school, got any older, it was either now or never, because we didn't want her to transition into, middle school and be the new kid on the block. It was a hard transition. We wanted her to still be young. My other son was only in 2nd grade, and then we had my youngest son, he was just 3. So we were like, it's now or never. And it was right before everything went sour in the market of selling homes back then. So we said, you know what, let's just do it. Let's not talk about it. We put our house on the market and sold it in 3 days. Didn't even have a chance to change our minds. And we came to Florida, and, the kids were still young enough. where, you know, my husband, he actually, it was a hard thing, should I say, because you're going at the time, the pay range here was a lot different where we were. It was a very big move. It was a very difficult decision too. I mean, it happened fast, but the majority of our family was up there. And I think that was the hardest part, was moving so far away from most of our family. But we said, let's do it. And wow, it's been a great journey, should I say. You know, we moved here. It was a little hard with him with work because of the pay. It was a big adjustment, but we were so lucky. We met some great friends that became like family to us, and a lot of them were from other states. So it kind of helped pet the situation because we were kind of homesick. You know, it's not like we just moved to another town in New Jersey. And a lot of those friends are still our friends to this day, which is just amazing. They're family, just not by blood. So I decided, and my husband gave me the opportunity, which I'm grateful for, that I could stay home, get the kids settled. He would work, and we would just take it one day at a time. And it was hard because when you have children, you know, I had one in middle school, one in elementary, and a toddler. Once you get one on the bus, the other one's getting off the bus, and daycare was so expensive. And I said, you know, I did plan on going back to work. I just didn't know what I was going to do. So he gave me the opportunity to stay home, take care of the kids, and take my time looking. So once we got situated, I said, you know, I got to know the area a little bit and realized there was a lot of senior citizens here, a real lot. And I noticed that when we did come to visit, like we would go into Publix, and if my kids made a lot of noise, we would get like bad looks. You know, a lot has changed since then. But I was just like, oh my goodness, should we be moving here? Because there's not a lot of kids here. But I didn't know any better. So I decided I was going to go, once they were settled in, the kids, let me just at least look for something part-time, you know, just to help with the bills, etc. And I needed it for my own sanity as well. So I actually went into an assisted living just out of the blue and in Port Charlotte. And I asked them, are you looking for any help? You know, I just was like, what do I got to lose? You know, up north, I was working a lot with children. And I was involved in a lot with our town. And I just loved helping people. And I said, you know what, since this is such a heavy populated senior area, I might as well try an assisted living or independent living. And they happened to be looking for a receptionist at the time. They gave me a spot on right there interview. And I said, I'll take anything. I just want to get my feet in the door, so to speak. Got hired as a receptionist. Within a month, wound up taking over activities because they needed an activity director. And I was helping from the front desk. Just got so comfortable there. It was a wonderful management company. The people I worked with were amazing and so welcoming. And I wound up doing being their activity director for 5 years, and just became so passionate with these seniors. And during this time, I started doing some community outreach, and my director at the time, we were looking for a director of marketing, and he said, why don't you apply for the job? He goes, you're doing some community outreach, you're doing events, you're so good with the people and the families. And I was helping do tours. And I was like, nah, I want to work with the people directly. And he's like, come on, why don't you just work with me, see how you like it, and we'll take it from there. Well, the rest is history. I loved it. I went out there full force. He helped me and guided me. And I used all my customer service just to build myself. And I did that for about 2 years. Excuse me. Those allergies, that's what I got from moving to Florida, is allergies, no? And I just developed myself in the community, which Charlotte County is an amazing community. started making a lot of contacts, always liked selling. Always. I was always selling something on the side, like the home parties, the Park Lane, the Tupperware, Park Lane was jewelry. I did party light candles. I don't need, there's just so many to name, but I was always like selling something. I love that drive. It gave me the challenge of selling. And I was just like, maybe this is the right place I'm supposed to be. Make a long story short, I went in a different direction, went to a private duty company. It was just time. There was change in management. It wasn't the right place for me to be anymore. I needed to go further, and I wanted to help people more. And I just felt there was so many people at the time who wanted to stay home. They didn't want to come to assisted living. And so I said, let me try this out. Let me just see. Maybe this is a different direction I need to go in. So I wound up joining a private duty agency. I worked for them for 5 years as well. Learned so much. Very hands-on. I am not one who likes to skip from job to job, but it was just getting more experience so I could help people more. And during the time, and I'm grateful to my employers, I became a resource. Not just, okay, we're going to help you with our services, but what I did was, if we can't help you, I developed myself where I would find out who could with no extra charge. And my employers let me do that. Got very involved in the community again, joined the chambers, any kind of senior organizations, the Alzheimer's Association. Sometimes I probably did too much, maybe, but at the time, the kids were still young and my husband supported me so much while I did all this. But, you get to the point over the years where it's like, okay, first God, of course, family needs to come before anything. And I needed to redevelop myself and say, okay, I need to make more time for my family. I need to make more time for me. And yet I need to help these people. So it was like I was getting schooling, how to make it all work. And with the home care agency, I worked for them. New owners bought the franchise. And they asked me to stay with them for a year. And I did. And I said, maybe I need to be doing something else. I said, I'm doing all this, but I still need more. I need more to bring to the people. My passion for helping people is so strong. And I just needed something more so I could give more. And I had met Chris Channa, the owner of Chelsea Place Senior Care, when he first started in the community with his assisted living, and we did a lot together, supported him with all his ventures. And he told me, if you're ever ready to make a change, I'd love you to come work with me, because I learned that his passion for helping seniors and their families was on the same level as mine. And it was kind of like a gift, but I just wasn't sure if I wanted to leave the other company and make this move, because my loyalty is very, very strong. So I did stay with them for a year and made sure they were all settled and they were all good. They could do it on their own. They didn't need me. And I decided to join Chris. At the time, him and his wife, Chelsea, had an assisted living and a senior daytime center, which was fairly new. And I just said, I'm ready. He said, whenever you're ready, this job is waiting for you. And it was funny because when I had given notice to my job, everybody was like, where are you going? It was like the big guessing game. Oh, are you going here? Are you going there? And I wouldn't tell anybody, not because I was trying to keep a secret. It was out of strict loyalty and respect to my current employer at the time. So long and behold, 3 years later, I'm with Chelsea Place Senior Care. And I am just so grateful because Chris, as my employer, allows me to be the resource and help seniors and their families above and beyond, as well as the outreach and marketing and then some for our assisted living, our home care, which we have now, and also our daytime center. And, you know, I'm very humble and very loyal, and I'm just trying to make it all work for me, myself, you know, my family, and for my employer, and for all the seniors out there and their families.
Okay, well, let's take you back to when you were up in New Jersey, because I want to take you back to your youth. Yeah, I want to take you back to your youth when you were growing up. How many siblings did you have?
So I have one brother, my brother Andrew. He's actually an executive director at a skilled nursing facility in New Jersey. Not what he went to school for. He was looking to get into, well, he went to college, William Patterson College in New Jersey for communications, and he was going to get into the sports field because our whole family, very, very knowledgeable when it comes to sports, diehard Yankee and Giants fans. And so me and my brother, we grew up in Fort Lee. My mom and my dad got divorced when, you know, we were kind of young, and we had a good upbringing though. My mother did whatever she could to make sure we had what we needed, and my dad as well. And we had a lot of family. And, you know, I grew up learning a lot in that area. It's a whole different area than what it is here, but in good ways. Each area has its good points and its bad points. But we had a lot of family. So growing up, we were always surrounded by a lot of love and support. And I'm trying to remember a lot because that was a long time ago. And
It'll come back. It'll come back.
My whole family, my mother and father's side, are all from New York. They're all from Brooklyn and the Bronx. That's where they all grew up. And we stayed up in North Jersey until I was in my late teens, and then we went to South Jersey, down the shore. And I kind of, you know, instead of going to college, I was really lucky. I had found a job with a temporary employment agency. I went in there for work, and because I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do at the time. And it was owned by a family, the Clark family, who I will forever be grateful to. They own this agency and took me in under their wing, so to speak. And instead of getting me employment outside of the office, they hired me inside, where I started off as a receptionist, then went to placing people. That's where I learned most of my customer service. They taught me payroll and bookkeeping. They just taught me so much. So instead of going to college, I learned so much there, more than any degree that could have gave me. And I stayed with them for a very, very long time. Well, I lived in New Jersey.
And how did you meet your husband?
So I met my husband. He lived in a town close to mine, but we met down the Jersey shore. And it's funny because we actually were in the same high school for a little while together. And we were like, we don't think we remember each other. It was a very big school, but we might have. And so we met down the shore and we dated for, I met him in 1988 and we got married in 1992. And in 1994, we had our first child. We had a daughter. Her name is Brittany. And Brittany is now married to her high school sweetheart, Zach. And they have 3 beautiful children. So I have a 6-year-old granddaughter, Arabella. We call her Bella. A 3-year-old granddaughter, Liliana. And I have an 8.5-month-old grandson, Zane. Wow. So, yeah, and they're beautiful. So beautiful. They are just such a joy. And then I have a son, Michael Jr. He's 23. He's a barber in town, very good at what he does. He just found his niche. He always wanted to be a New York Yankee, but unfortunately that didn't work out because he very, very, very talented in baseball. Not just the knowledge, but the ability. And then I have the baby of the family is Nicholas. He is just turned 19. I'm so proud of him. He just bought his first brand new car the other day. He just got a 2021 Toyota. What did he get? A RAV4. And boy, I spent all day on Memorial Day down in Fort Myers with him because he thought it would take only 2 hours. But yeah, he very naive, right? He bought 19 years old and he bought a brand new car. My kids work very, very hard. Their work ethics are very, very good. They take after me and my spouse. Our work ethics are very strong.
Well, so, and that's a good parenting too.
Yeah, we're very proud. But unfortunately, my daughter is going to be relocating very soon with her family to Ohio. Yeah, it's going to be hard, but thank goodness for airplanes. Her husband works for a company and he's getting relocated, and it's going to be very good for them, but very hard. So we're just trying to enjoy every moment that we have because, guys, it's so hard. They're trying to buy a house because he's been working from home and they just can't get a house. Every time he puts a bid in, somebody outbids them. So they're just kind of waiting to see what happens. And, one never knows, but it's going to be very hard.
And I understand that my grandchildren live out of state also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they first started having children, he was in the Navy. He went into the Navy right out of high school. I'm so proud of him. And they started having their children then. They were young and they're great parents. So I don't remember if it was the first year, maybe, a year or so, maybe a little more of Bella's life, they were out of state. So that was very difficult. But then they came back and we've been so lucky to have them here for all these years. So instead of being upset and thinking like, oh no, they're going to leave soon, I'm trying to enjoy every moment.
And it's a blessing that you've had them for that period of time because many of us don't have them around.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm very grateful. Yeah. And, we have a lot of good friends here that are like our family. We do have some more family. My father and my stepmom, because he had gotten remarried, both my parents did, they're up in St. Pete. So my dad's not too far away. And then I'm hoping, my brother tells me once his girls, graduate high school, hopefully he'll be relocating here too.
Well,
so yeah.
Better.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He's in senior care also. So one thing is being in this area, you'll never have to worry.
When your children were growing up, when up in Jersey, and I'll go back to Jersey, did you work all the time or did you take time off then?
Well, when my daughter was born, and also my second child, my son, Mikey, we call him, he's Michael Jr. I worked part-time around my spouse's schedule. So somebody was always home with the kids. So he was in construction. And so he would come home for work, I'd make dinner, and then I would go out and work in the evening. Which was a lot. He worked all day long, very, very hard. And then he would watch the kids, but I only did it part-time. And I look back and I'm like, just so appreciative of that. I don't think we always show say our appreciation. Sometimes we think we're showing it. And I think what I've learned over the years is that sometimes people need more to be told that you appreciate them, and I look back and I wish I would have told him that more, but it's never too late.
Absolutely. And verbalizing it, because my husband's an assumative person. He assumes people understand. And
Yes.
and
Mm,
I tell him, you know, you're assuming this of people. You need to speak out. You need to ask the question. You need to verify,
right.
and you need to say those words, I love you. I was raised in a family, we didn't say that. My mother showed love by food. And, you know, I'm in the family, and maybe that's why I'm overweight. And
Oh, you're beautiful.
well,
You're perfect.
you're gorgeous. And let's talk about your hair. Oh,
Oh,
are
my
you?
hair. Wait, can I just say though, one thing is when our baby was born, I stayed home with him for 2 years. And it was like I felt like it was a gift. And then I did go back to work because I needed to, also mentally. It wasn't just financially, yeah. So anyway, so I got to do that, and he was making such good money, and he was always such a good supporter for us. And I'm grateful for that. But anyway, as far as my hair goes, so my hair is getting curlier as I get older. And it's very hard to keep it straight, even though when I do get it straightened, people don't even recognize me. A lot of people know me for my hair, which is not a bad thing. You know, my kids say if they're, yeah, your people know you for your hats. If we're in like the supermarket or just we go to Walmart a lot, the kids always, it was a big joke, like, oh, we could always find mom by her hair. Um, so if I get my hair straightened, I look like a different person. But being out in the community and in this humidity, I just leave it curly, put it up in a clip, and it's big. And it's the Jersey girl hair. And it's maybe goes back to the 80s. It's not, I don't have it all spiked up on top, but that's more 80s. But the 80s was my favorite set of years. Love the music, love the clothes, love everything about it. And it's not that I'm stuck in the 80s, but I love the 80s.
Well, a lot of
Big hair. It just, I could never imagine myself with short hair. But Marie, as soon as I get home after working, my hair goes up in a scrunchie, you know, like a ponytail. The sweats come on, the makeup comes off, and it's the real me. But I try not to wear too much makeup anyway anymore. I'm just like, I'm not trying to impress anybody. It's just to hide some of the wrinkles that are starting, you know?
I know how that is, because I put makeup on to come on this. And if I'm going out, I do. But if I'm at home, I let my skin breathe. You know.
Well, yeah. And you know what? I think I've done more learning in the last few years than I've done my whole life. And I'm really trying to, you know, the makeup thing and the this and the that. I have nobody to impress. I have to do for me. And I'm my worst critic. You know, I'm just like, oh, maybe I put on a few pounds, or I lost a few pounds, or my weight, or the way I photograph. It's never about Amie. You know, it's always like I'm my worst critic, and I'm always complimenting everybody else and being there for everybody else. And I'm not trying to sound like Polly Purebred. I'm humble. Believe me, anybody who knows me knows that. And if they don't, then they really don't know me well. I'm not perfect. I've done a lot of growing these last few years, and I really am finally glad where I am. I'm very, very happy. It's not that I wasn't before, but I'm more aware of it. And not to be religious, I really don't talk about religion and politics, but I just really, in the last few years, realized and appreciated God. And it's taught me a lot of good lessons about myself. And that's all I'll say about that.
One of the other things, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I was talking with one of our mutual friends yesterday, and we were talking about a lot of us that give to other people forget about taking care of ourselves at times. And I think during COVID, we reflected on maybe some more inner peace and mental health and what's really important. And I was talking with my husband, because I, like you, have always really been out of the house working. I am not a homebody. I am a person that uh, I'm okay with cleaning, but truthfully, I feel, to me, my own personal, this is my own personal journey, that I am a person that works and I feel fulfilled when I do for others, and also when I do for um, helping. I've always been a business person, and a lot of
Right.
people don't know my background, but I've always been in management. From the time I was younger, I would always move up through management. Not that I was looking at doing that, but because, just like you, with leadership skills and different things that come out, and you're outgoing, I'm outgoing,
Right.
and I'm a mouth thinker, and I don't think you're a mouth thinker. Mouth thinker is somebody that has it come through their brain and it comes right out the mouth. I've had to learn to filter that over time, but
Me too. Absolutely.
and I was part of the leadership Gulf Coast Leadership Institute, and they used Myers-Briggs, and the Myers-Briggs actually teach you about different leadership styles. And I didn't know mine was a leadership style with the mouth thinker, that you're like that. And I'm actually went off the charts about being extroverted. Well, I know I'm extroverted because I don't get shy in a situation per se.
Right.
And I don't think you do either, because I'm looking, I've known you for a long time, and I know you're a bubbly person. When a person sees you, Amie, they can't do anything but smile, because
Oh,
uh, you
that's
bring
like you're
that.
embarrassing me. No.
Well,
But
there you go. No, are you part of the Fresh Jersey Tomatoes?
oh, you know what? It's funny because Nanette Leonard, who's amazing, great person, years ago, I remember being outside of the Charlotte Harbor Event Center and talking to her. I didn't know her that well. I just, kind of through the chamber because she's so involved. And she's a fellow Jersey girl, and she's just a beautiful woman inside and out. And I told her, I said, I always wanted to start a Jersey Girls Club. And I'm not taking the realm of this. And she's like, oh, that would be a great idea. And she had did public relations. And she just went and took it because I said, I have no time to do this, but I would love to do it. And she took it into her own hands and she just blew it up, so to speak, in a good way. And they're actually, it's not just even a get together with Jersey girls, they're also doing stuff for the community. And I just had gotten so busy, and so she invited me in. It was just an idea that she took and ran with it. So she should have full credit. And every time they have a meeting, I always have something else going on for work. It's just because of my job, it's and being involved in things. So am I a member? Yes, I do have a name tag. Have I gone more than a handful of times? No, but they are going to be restarting, getting together again, and I plan on making time for that. No more talk, just do it. And I also step back on a few of the groups I'm involved in that I was involved with for years, because they let other people, take charge, and this way I can reach more avenues. Because a big focus of mine is be able to be that referral source, not just for seniors, but for other businesses and community relationships as well.
And I'm getting back for you, so I'm going to mute you. Talking about that, we'll talk about the conference that you do have coming up at the event center. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because I'm 71 years old right now. My husband, I know, and let me tell you, I'm feeling my age, man. Let me also explain to people that when you get older, and I didn't realize how I may need your services at some time. I have a husband that's going through a lot of issues right now. He has AFib. He just been diagnosed. He'll kill me with some other issues, and plus he's prone to infection because of what he's done all his life. He was a water well driller, and so he was around bacteria a lot, and he's developed where he gets infection real easy. So when I'm looking at what you're offering at this conference, I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? I should really come to this, and I'm going to bring up your flyer here uh, up on the screen, and then I'll let you talk about it. I'll unmute you there. Okay, Amie.
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you for giving me that time to share some of my life. It's been a good life, and I'm grateful. There's been ups and downs, bumps and bruises, but there's been so much good in my life, and it's never too late to be aware and grateful of that. And I make it a point. There's always a positive. And if you can keep it positive and try not to concentrate on the negative so much, which I have done a lot in my life because I wasn't aware, and I'm grateful for it. And I just hope other people, when they're having hard times in their life, they realize that there's so much good in their life as well. And if you can concentrate on that, it kind of conquers the bad, because the bad can so outweigh the good so much and really bring us down. But anyway, positive note, yes, we have the Senior Care Conference. Chelsea Place Senior Care is one of the top sponsors, but with Chelsea Place, we have a nonprofit called Senior Source. And we are having a conference on Saturday, June 12th at the Charlotte Harbor Event Center from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's a free event, totally free, but you must register for tickets, because we have to have tickets for you to enter, because there is a limit on the amount of people we can have attend. Plus, we have to be prepared. We're offering a free lunch. We're going to have prizes. This is not a health fair. This is not an in and out kind of day where you're coming just for the pens. You're coming to learn and get information you need and information you didn't know you needed. This is for people taking care of a loved one, a neighbor, a friend. This is for you. You're taking care of your spouse, Marie. Okay, if I wasn't doing this for a living, I would be attending, because there's going to be a time, which I should have already, I need to organize my legal affairs. I need pre-needs for when I do pass. I need to know what's out there, Medicaid versus Medicare. I still, to this day, that's not my forte. I plan on listening to that one. I need to know about what's the difference between a skilled nursing facility and independent living or memory care or private duty home care or home health. There's so much. And if anybody thinks they don't need this, I have to correct them. You might not need this today, but be proactive and don't wait until you're in a corner, because I get these calls daily. Mom's not doing good. I need to get her into assisted living today. Or what am I going to do? What about if something happens to me? I'm going to have to worry my kids are going to be responsible for this. You know, there's so much information out there, and we are bringing it to the people. And luckily, thank God for our sponsors. They're the ones who are helping us put on this free event, which, excuse me, we have Fawcett Memorial Hospital and Chelsea Place Senior Care, who are our top sponsors. Then we have Life Care Center of Punta Gorda, Millennium Physician Group, Lexington Manor Assisted Living. And then we go down, we have almost every single skilled nursing, assisted living, memory care, independent living, home care, home health, elder lawyers, financial people. The majority in this town and the surrounding towns are going to be there that day. Plus, Alzheimer's Association, we have Dr. Montoya from town, Dr. Meller, Dr. Ruanu. These are all top doctors in our area who are going to talk to you about, you know, effects on the brain, urinary tract infections, effects that things can do to your brains, Parkinson's. It's not just going to be that, though. There's going to be people there from the Charlotte County Veterans Benefit Office to talk about veterans aid and attendance and benefits. Do you even know that you can get help at home? Like, there's just so much, and our vendors are going to have information. I get very passionate about this because the help is there, and we're bringing it to you. It's not going to be a boring day where you're sitting at a seat all day for 9 hours. We're going to have chairs with schoolhouse style desks, so you'll be comfortable taking notes in the main room. And then we're going to have breakout sessions where you can choose what you want to go listen to. Then there'll be time to see the vendors. There's going to be entertainment, a free lunch, prizes, nice prizes, which I'm not going to share with you. So if you are interested, we still have some tickets left. And I'm going to look on here because I forget. So the number is 941-677-7233. You call, get your free tickets, register online if you'd like at www.seniorsource.com. But we need to get these tickets to you, and it's 9 days away.
Yeah. Myself, I want to talk about something else too, and for a lot of people, people that are close to me know this, but I have a daughter too that's living at home, and she's 50. Anyhow, she's an MIT graduate with 3 degrees from MIT, and she has a screenwriter degree from New York Film Academy, and she was a COO of her own company in New York City. She's ill, and she ended up, I had to go and move her back from New York in 2018 home. Who wants to come back home with their parents when you've been an independent woman all your life and you're ill, and it's those are, that's something that I'm dealing with at home personally with this. And a lot of people I seldom ever talk about on media here about what's going on in my personal life, but I need things like this. I need this information because I need to be able to go to one place and be able to get all this information because I'm dealing with this at my home. And this format that we have right now that we're on, Amie, I'm able to stay at home, do my radio shows, do the editing, get it up for the radio. Plus, I'm doing some other things. Now that I'm going out in public, though, a lot of people are asking me to come in. I'm on a couple of boards and that, and I'm trying to balance my time because that's one of the things that I think we find, you and I, and a lot of us that do give out in the community, we try to balance our time among the family and among the community. And I have found that, you know what? At the end of the day, who's going to be there for you? It's your family.
Absolutely.
The community has helped me in a lot of ways. And I got to give a shout out to one of the nonprofits out there, Discovery Global Recovery, Divine Global Recovery. They chose us as one of they know what I do out in the community. And I'm a person that, just like you, Amie, I do for others. I'm not expecting anybody to do for us. But my husband can't do the work that he normally was able to. And I'm going to cry. But
oh, honey, I'm sorry. You're going to make me cry.
They chose us to come and help with some stuff out in the yard because he wasn't able to do a lot of stuff because of AFib. And a lot of people don't even know that I was married. It'll be 40 years this year. But
oh, wow.
Yeah, my husband, in fact, right now he's outside because that's where his joy is. He loves being outside, so he's always working in the yard. And he was going into AFib, and Amie, here's another thing too for a lot of people that know. Sometimes, especially men, don't tell you what their health issues are. He kept it hidden from me. I knew that there was stuff going on, but I couldn't. My daughter and I were trying to figure out because he was turning gray, and I finally convinced him to go see the
Oh,
doctor. And
okay.
we have one of those doctors. The Shells are our doctors, Dr. Stephanie and Dr. Stephen, and he goes to Stephen, and we can go pick up the phone and go. They'll call us. In fact, his doctor called him yesterday because of a device that they want to implant in him, and we discussed that. But anyhow, when he got in there, then they did all this stuff, and all these things popped up then. And
Right.
and to deal with that, do they have people there even for mental health? Because a lot of times you need some psychiatry,
Okay. I'm trying to think offhand because we have so many vendors. There's over 70. So I'm trying to think offhand if we're going, who's going to be there. Oh, there's Southwest Florida Counseling Center. They're amazing. They will be there. See, it took me a minute. The thing is, they are very wonderful, and they even can come to your home. So that's one of our community partners as well. And they help even children and adults. And they'll be there with lots of information. There's just going to be so much information. It's not going to be just for senior related, but the majority is, like for instance, if you're home taking care of your loved one, do you know if that person who might have some Alzheimer's, do you know that, I'm not trying to solicitate Chelsea Place, but we have a daytime activity center in Port Charlotte where you can have some respite time and have your loved one attend there. There's going to be other home care companies where you can do the same. And we're giving people the option of staying at home or what's out there. So like, for instance, Southport Square, they're one of our sponsors. They have independent, assisted, memory care, skilled nursing. There's going to be Discount Med Direct, another higher sponsor. They can get you discounts on medication, or Mediri Home Health, one of our home health companies who are a sponsor. They can get you physical therapy, occupational therapy at home, just with a doctor's script. So there's going to be a lot. There really, really is. But for your area, there's going to be like the counseling. The Area Agency on Aging will be speaking. And if you don't find what you're looking for, you can always ask us, because me and Chris Chana, we are senior resource specialists. And basically, it's a title, but it comes from the heart. You call me and you say, I don't think my husband's ready to go into your assisted living, or maybe it's not the right fit for him. I'll find out a little bit about him, and I'll give you a couple of options in our area. And hope that those people, which I know they will take really good care of you. Because you know what? It's scary. It's scary not knowing, and knowing that this is ultimately going to happen to all of us, that we're going to need some direction, and hopefully we'll all just live healthy lives, but things happen. And we just want you to know you're not alone on this journey. We'll help find you the resources you need. And they're out there. We have a great community, Charlotte County, and we're going to be having people from Sarasota and Lee County with information as well. We have some attendees coming from those areas, as well as vendors and speakers. This is going to be amazing. And it's the first of its kind. And unfortunately, it's our relaunch, because it was supposed to be last March, but we had to reschedule it because we decided it was just unsafe because of COVID and having that many people in one room, of course. But the Charlotte Harbor Event Center has been amazing. And thank you so much to Jim Finch and his staff. Michelle's been our coordinator, and everybody on his team. They have just been amazing. And there's some boxes I tried to hide that are in the background, but we have a lot of boxes, and we have all our stuff ready to roll, because it is a week from this Saturday. And come, we really, really want you to come. Again, call and register for your tickets at 941-677-7233. If you are out of the area or cannot make it, we will be, it'll be streaming live on Facebook and YouTube on any one of Chelsea Place's pages. And if you want to attend, but you have a loved one at home that you can't leave alone, you can give us a call and we can give you information about spending the day at our daytime center at no charge.
Wow. Amie, that is amazing. And I'm putting up your information on the screen right now. Amie Conti, Amie Conti is how you spell Amy's name. And you can email her at aconti, ACONTI, at Chelsea, CHELSEA, placecare.com. Their phone number is 941-787-0687. And although that's Amy's cell phone number, and she will take your direct call. And then you can go to chelseaplacecare.com, 941-676-3411. And I want to repeat again, the phone number to call for registering is, and Amie, I'll let you say it because.
Okay. It's 941-677-7233. That's our line for Senior Source, where Sophie, our event coordinator, will be more than happy to take your call and register you. It doesn't take long, and we'll get you your tickets out. We're only days away from this event, and we are so super excited. And I hope to meet you all who are listening. Just tell them you heard me on Marie's show. I'm super grateful you gave me this opportunity. And a big thank you to my employer, Christiana, because he was going to try to be on the show with me today, but we just have so much going on for this conference. And there's a lot of things that he needs to do that I can't do. So he said, you do the show today by yourself. But I'm just grateful to him.
Well, and actually, he and his wife are really great supporters in the community, and they take such good care of their seniors. I know during COVID that they took them for rides out in the community, just to get them out. I just, and tell Chris, I'm very grateful for what he has done for the community and for the seniors. And I'm glad that you mentioned UTI too. My mom caught COVID, and she got it from a healthcare worker that came into her home. But the healthcare worker, that's a whole different story, and I don't want to even publicly talk about that. But my mom was prone to UTIs.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that education-wise, as people get older, I understand that's something that does happen a lot. And I may have to go into that room and discover, why, because I'm getting older and that it's seen as my mom has them.
Yes.
I may have to be educated on that because us as, when you're younger, you don't think about that often. But
no, it's true. And younger people do get them. And Dr. Iwano from Millennium Physician Group, he will be talking about that. And then we are going to have areas where people can ask questions privately as well once the speaker's done with their presentation. I actually will be the speaker on private duty home care. I'll be on the main stage helping MC throughout the day, but I will also be walking around. You can't miss me with this big blonde hair. And make sure if you're listening and you come out, you come over and say hi to me, please. Because I love people and everybody's a friend to me.
Absolutely. And I will be coming to that conference. I have to. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me to take the time. If you really care about somebody in your life or yourself, this is a conference that's a must-go-to conference for us, especially in this community when the average age is over 60, 62.
Right.
So, thank you, Amie, so much.
Thank you. I so appreciate it. Always. It's always such a pleasure spending time with you. And I am just grateful for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Well, and thank you for being my friend. Thank you.
Oh, ditto.
Thank you, everybody, for listening in to Sleuthing Eye Opening Tales of the Past on WKDW 97.5 FM, Real Community Radio. We are here for you. And if you ever care to be on any of our shows, just reach out to info@kdwradio.com. Or if you want to be on any of my shows, Marie@kdwradio.com. There's also choices in life you can make about a lot of things in life, but there's one thing that may change your life and others. Be kind. That's,
Yes.
you have a choice to be kind or not to be kind. All you have to do is be kind and wear that smile like Amie does all the time. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
and have a
bye.
great day.